Here's a question. What happens when a sitting president, insider trading, and a $100 million rug pull collide? The answer is over 74,000 traders lose over $250 million. Strap in, because this might be the biggest political crypto scandal of all time, and it is still evolving. But here's everything you need to know, at least for the time being. Before we break down the entire timeline of events and all the insane twists and turns along the way, here are 3 reasons why the Libra launch will certainly have long-lasting consequences and possibly remain a talking point for as long as FTX. Reason number 1 is the admission of guilt. Hayden Davis is this funny-looking man behind the launch, and he's practically admitted to the team sniping their own token in a now viral interview.
But if you launch the coin, isn't it unfair for you to snipe the coin?
So I would say no. And I would say that for a couple different reasons.
Now, interestingly, it's becoming clear that the same team was also linked to previous rug pulls, including Melania and possibly many, many more. And that connects us to reason number 2. On-chain data doesn't lie. On-chain sleuths have linked the same wallets to Libra, M3, Melania, Enron, and even Hood. ShufCC's findings suggest insider trading on a massive scale, and he suggests that it could go as far back as the Trump launch, possibly with serious legal consequences. This story isn't going anywhere. And reason number 3, even the so-called scammers got scammed in this. Yes, the top KOLs and members of the LA Babe Cabal were seen taking heavy losses on stream, but then the fingers turned to them after Frank's deleted tweet, leading some to believe that the KOLs had secretly received a token allocation. They were making their losses public to avoid heavy suspicion and scrutiny. Hayden's interview confirms this idea that more KOLs and insiders are involved in a number of recent meme coin launches. We're going to dive into all of this in just a second, but to some extent, it looks like the KOLs were actually used as bait. Now, Dave Portnoy is unsurprisingly again involved in this, and we're going to cover his involvement in more detail in future videos. But he somehow managed to lose millions of dollars despite receiving 6 million Libra tokens. He apparently got refunded by Hayden, only to then send the money back to him, and people are not happy. As you'd expect, with such a high-profile fuck-up, even the Argentine president is now facing calls for impeachment and legal scrutiny. So it is worth reviewing how the Libra launch turned into such a magnificent clusterfuck, and of course what really went down. So here's the rough timeline of events. Milei posts about Libra. Everyone assumes this time is different. It can't be another Melania, another CAR, another broccoli. The market cap nears $5 billion, but huge insider selling nukes the chart right back down to $300 million in under an hour. The Argentinian President Milei then deletes his tweet and he disavows his involvement. The result is, of course, industry-wide outcries, calling this a well-executed scam, followed by fingers within the Solana ecosystem turning to Jupiter, Meteora, and Moonshot, suggesting that Jupiter even abused its position to profit from the FOMO, the high volumes, and fees. Then, in a rather unexpected turn of events, we got Hayden Davis, the video of the man behind the launch itself, in an apparent attempt to dodge responsibility. Now, it seems this only complicated matters and calls of insider trading. Jupiter's statement followed, stating that they weren't involved and that their internal investigation revealed no insider trading from the Jupiter team. Although there are still skeptical community members, because the post acknowledges that they were informed of the launch by Kaiser Ventures around 2 weeks in advance. Community members also point to Meow's awareness of the launch date in advance as a potential sign of foul play. But Jupiter's head of communications Cash posted refuting these claims, and he argued that Libra was never listed on the Moonshot app. He asserted that the Jupiter team had no involvement in the token's launch. Meanwhile, on-chain data found by sleuths like Shook have tied Libra and other scams all together, prompting even more backlash and scrutiny. Now, the findings point to other tokens like Enron, Hood, and notably M3 being implicated in a series of orchestrated rug pulls, where the common denominator is sadly suspicious wallet activity and potential insider involvement. Ben from Meteora has since revealed that Hayden was behind the launch of the official meme coin of Meteora, M3. So the plot keeps thickening. The real straw that broke the camel's back came when Hayden, in his infinite wisdom, agreed to be interviewed by none other than Coffeezilla, and he admitted that they made over $110 million from Libra, and, unsurprisingly, that they had sniped the Melania token too.
Were you part of the Melania launch, and was that sniped as well?
I'll answer. I was part of it. We definitely weren't the big sniper.
Now, there's major flashbacks to SPF's interview here. And what's really interesting is that in his seemingly self-incriminating interview, Hayden also claims that the $110 million that they now control paints a target on his back, but it's also his only leverage against the people that are sending him death threats. So what's next? As the Kaiser Ventures story becomes increasingly public, it is fair to consider what this means for us. And here are 3 guesses. Regulators won't come down as hard as they did after FTX, but trust is gone in KOLs, in VCs, in memecoin launches, and to a lesser extent even in Solana. The industry needs to rebuild credibility by shifting focus back to DeFi, back to DeepIn, to AI, to RWAs, instead of just focusing on meme coins and blind speculation where most people sadly get wrecked. There will almost certainly be updates coming out in the coming days, and we will be covering it all. So to stay ahead of the madness, you can of course subscribe to Solana Floor, and I'll see you next time for more of the very latest.